Tecia Pennington vs Luana Pinheiro. Pennington brings relentless pace and cardio, while Pinheiro struggles with weight cuts and fades into the mid to late rounds of her fights. If Pennington can survive the early storm or even take control early on, she'll turn up the heat and completely take over. Could be a chance of a late finish here should Luana fade as badly as we have seen from her in other fights, but I am leaning towards a decision here. Final prediction: Tecia Pennington via decision or late TKO. Park Hyun-Sung vs Carlos Hernandez. Park is a high-pressure finisher, and Hernandez tends to retreat under fire with the aim to counter, but will literally just retreat if he can't. While Hernandez has solid wrestling, Park's aggression, high-level grappling, volume, and finishing instinct should overwhelm him unless he can impose control early and find success with his wrestling. I just feel even on his back, Park will still be too aggressive for Hernandez to control. Hernandez tends to just aim to control his opponents once he's able to take them down and lacks any true aggression here too. Park should be able to outwork him off his back and make him uncomfortable here too. Final prediction: Park Hyun-Sung via decision or submission. Elise Reed vs Denise Gomes. Expect fireworks. Reed loves a firefight, but Gomes is more well-rounded and can exploit Reed's defensive lapses both standing and on the ground. This could be over quickly as Gomes carries fight-ending power. I can see Reed walking into a clean combo of hers and not reacting well to it, but most female fights go the distance, so this is the most likely result. Final prediction: Denise Gomes via decision or TKO. Luana Santos vs Tainara Lisboa. Lisboa is the more polished striker and may pressure Santos into uncomfortable exchanges. Santos's judo is a real threat, but Lisboa's volume and resilience at bantamweight should carry her. I can see Santos having success using her grappling, but I feel Lisboa can more than match her here and will be able to give her issues on the ground, or have enough success to make it close, especially if she picks Santos off on the feet and outlands her too. Final prediction: Tainara Lisboa via decision or submission. Yadier Del Valle vs Connor Matheus. Matheus is reeling from 2 brutal KO losses, while Del Valle is on a hot streak. He's the cleaner striker and will punish Matheus' defensive flaws. Unless Matheus finds takedown success early or manages to take Del Valle's back, this could be another tough night for him. Final prediction: Yadier Del Valle via TKO or decision. Jared Gordon vs Thiago Moises. This is a true toss-up. Gordon brings relentless pressure, boxing and heavy hands, while Moises is a technical kicker with elite jiu-jitsu. If Gordon slows, Moises will capitalize with counters or a takedown that could eventually lead to a submission. Gordon can win with pure grit, using his wrestling to only defend against Moises's grappling attempts and keep the fight standing, but stylistically this is a tricky matchup. Final prediction: Thiago Moises via decision or submission. Gabe Green vs Matheus Camilo. This is closer than it looks. Camilo is on a solid streak, while Green returns after 2 years and 2 back-to-back losses at welterweight, drops to lightweight for the first time in nearly a decade. That's a lot of unknowns. Camilo's sharper counters and activity should edge a competitive, action-packed fight. I see Green trying to use his aggression, but being slowly picked off by the faster, more active lightweight. I also see him struggling to take the fight to the ground should he decide to mix it up. He could even be caught in a sub, should he try to play the jiu-jitsu game with Camilo and the fight goes to the mat. Final prediction: Matheus Camilo via decision. Julian Erosa vs Melquizael Costa. Costa is staying busy. This is already his 3rd fight of the year. Style-wise, he matches up well with Erosa, who is tough but predictable. If Costa can avoid Erosa's front chokes, his chain wrestling and positional awareness should take over. Expect some flashy scrambles, but Costa should control enough ground time to get the nod, or maybe even find a submission. On the feet I see Costa crowding Erosa and taking his range away from him. This is Erosa's best weapon as a tall, lanky striker in the division, but in the pocket, Costa will have an easier time piecing him up. Erosa's striking defense is very suspect here, like a lot of tall, rangier fighters. Final prediction: Melquizael Costa via decision or submission. Dustin Stolzfus vs Nursulton Ruziboev. If there's a fight guaranteed to end violently, it's this one. Both men are aggressive finishers by default. Ruziboev has a significant reach and range advantage, and Stolzfus' striking defense isn't strong enough to survive without a takedown. While Stolzfus could find a sub should he score a takedown, or take Ruziboev's back, Ruziboev's scrambling, distance control, and power should carry him through to a brutal finish or decision win. Final prediction: Nursulton Ruziboev via TKO or decision. Sodiq Yusuff vs Myron Santos. This is a range battle. Both men can crack, but I give the power edge to Yusuff. That said, Santos is slick and tactical, especially at range. In his last fight, Santos benefited from a robbery win over Francis Marshall, but that suggests the UFC sees his potential. Yusuf's flat-footed pressure and reactive style may play right into Santos' counters. If Santos keeps this clean and calculated, he'll land the more telling blows as Yusuf slows down. If Sodiq Yusuf can time and disrupt Santos's rhythm, he could crack him in the pocket. Here he stands a real chance to win and possibly hurt and finish Santos. I could also see him mixing in some wrestling, but with such a low shoot percentage, I don't see him doing this much, so fair to say this is a striking affair for the most part. Final prediction: Myron Santos via decision or late TKO. For the co-main we have Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. Let's be honest, this co-main feels a bit weak, likely elevated due to its high finish potential. Both fighters are aggressive and finish-oriented, but Bellato has youth, momentum, and striking advantage on his side. Paul Craig seems unsure about his ideal weight class, bouncing between divisions with limited success. At 37, the physical toll is evident, and his striking defense remains vulnerable. Bellato should be able to piece him up early, stuff takedowns, and finish him, potentially in the first round. Final prediction: Rodolfo Bellato via TKO, round 1 or 2. And finally the main event, Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. This main event might have caught some off guard, but hats off to Gilbert Burns, he's always game when healthy. The 38-year-old veteran is stepping in against rising, undefeated prospect Michael Morales, who at just 25, is already showcasing elite-level skills. Burns does his best work in close quarters, where he can unleash his power, but Morales has the tools to keep him at range, piecing him up with clean, calculated strikes. We've seen Burns struggle in this area before. Usman picked him apart with a jab, and Sean Brady controlled him for 5 rounds. Morales has the ability to blend both those strategies. Unless Burns gets the fight to the mat, he's going to be in deep waters. Morales' takedown defense has looked increasingly solid, and even if he's grounded briefly, his ability to return to his feet or stay safe is underrated. The longer the fight goes, the more it favors the younger, fresher Morales. Final prediction: Michael Morales via TKO or decision.